right, today we're talking about Risk Legacy. Now, the very first thing I have to say here, before we do anything else, is I don't normally do this in a board game review, but we have to say spoilers here.
Yes.
I will do my best throughout this review to avoid as many spoilers as I can about the game. In fact, the company asked me to do so. But they may it slip out. Or you may see a corner of the board or something. So be forewarned. If you want every single thing about this to be a surprise, then
Don't
you probably
watch.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, we will do our best not to ruin it.
Or turn your monitor off and just listen.
Now, the reason we say this is because in this game there's sealed packets and sealed things that you open as the games progress. In fact, in our games, we have not yet opened them all. But I want to get the review. I'm not going to play...
Much to the chagrin of him.
Okay, well, let me show you how the game works. Kind of, sort of. On my fake map. And then we'll talk about the game. So let's take a look at what's inside this box. Inside the box, you will see, I think I can show you everything here. You'll see the 5 different factions. Now each faction has some cool little plastic pieces. They have a guy that stands for 1 army, and then you have one that stands for 3 armies. This is the Enclave of the Bear. So you have your little guys here, and then the guys riding the bear counts for 3. While here you have your other army with the big gun that counts for 3. And so on, each army also comes with a base, and that's what you'll start on the board. Here's your Mad Max army. So there's 5 armies that you start out with. Now what's interesting is each army comes with a faction card to show that army, and on the bottom they have a spot to put a special ability. You get a card with 2 special abilities. This is the Enclave of the Bear card. If your attack roll is a natural 3 of a kind and at least 1 defending troop is defeated, you conquer the territory and remove all defending troops. Or the defender subtracts 1 from his lower defense die in the first territory you attack during your turn. You pick one. Obviously you see which one we picked. You put that one on the card, then you take the other one, you rip it up, and it's gone forever. Bet some of you flinched there. But you know what? Who cares? This is my game now. I have the special abilities that are on my cards that other people don't have on their cards. The chance of you having the same exact 5 that we started with is probably pretty small. But that's only one of the things that's in this game. You can see here the board that comes in the game, and here all the people who played in this game have signed it. We started October 19th, 2011. And the board itself, and it's, let's see if I can show you part of it. Here, I can show you this part here. It has a map of the world, and you can see that different parts of this map have already been changed. There's a city over here in Greenland called Healy over here. We have Soviet, which was put here just so it could be next to the word Iceland, Soviet Iceland. Here's Torchwood over in Great Britain. And here's Munera, another city. Here's some ammunition depletion stickers. And you can see that this continent has been named the Vassal States of America. And somebody with the initials TV can control that area. And so basically that's it. You can see a little bit more. I can't show you much else of the world because there's different stickers that have been put onto the map that have changed how things work. Now, one of the things that's cool about this game is you can see that here on the board, you can see some ripping being done, but there's 4 envelopes that start here. And each of these envelopes say something. For example, this one says, open the first time a faction is eliminated from the game. So when someone's eliminated, we take this, we break the seals, we open it up and pull out whatever it has inside it, and that will change the game. Interestingly enough, in the rule book itself, you'll find different spots that have blanks on them. For example, right here, you can see this whole area is blank. There's going to be stickers put here once we add those rules to the game. And there's quite a few spots where stickers will be added to the game. These will add cards. You have 2 big packs here that when you open them, that will add something else to the game. Now in this instance, I did not just show you anything. These are pieces that come with the game as it is. But there was stuff inside here when we opened this. I still haven't opened this one, and I still haven't opened this envelope up here. I'm very curious, you know, what's inside those, but we're going to get to those as the game progresses. The game is very similar to Risk. You move around the board when it's your turn, and you attack other players, and you roll dice. If you've never played Risk before, the combat system is very simple. The attacker can attack with as many forces as he wants. When he attacks, he can roll up to 3. He can roll 1, 2, or 3. The defender can roll 1 or 2 on defense. It's up to them. So you roll the dice, and then you compare the highest numbers. So here, 6 to 6, and then the second highest number is 5 to 5. It's a tie, and defender wins tie. So this would mean the defender kills 2 of the attackers. If I roll again, here the attacker got a 6 and a 6. The next 2 numbers are a 5 and a 4. Once again, the defender kills 2 of the attackers. Let's see if I can get something different here. Alright. The highest number is a 6, a 5, and then a 5 and a 2. Here the attackers would kill 2. And so if you only send 1 die out, you can only have 1 person die, but at the same time, you're only going to be able to kill 1 at the most. So you keep going till a battle's over. Now the game comes with a pile of resource cards, and they are used on this sideboard that comes with the game. And this sideboard has spots on it. You can see mission, events, and discards, and events will show up in the game. But the biggest thing here is resource cards. You'll have some resource cards out here, and at the end of your turn, if you have conquered someone else's territory, then you can take one of these resource cards if you have one of those territories. That's yours. If not, you simply will take one of these resource cards, which is worth 1 coin. But you can see these different territories are worth different amounts. In our game, Brazil is worth 3. But that's because stickers have been put onto the game showing that this territory is worth 3. And as the game progresses, more stickers might be put on. See, at the end of the game, whoever wins that game has a choice. They can put a new major city on the board. These are stickers. These are ones that still have yet to be placed on the board. They can put fortifications around one. They can put a +1 or -1 after a continent on the board. They can name a continent. That's what I did. Or they can take a resource card that's in the game and rip it up. The losers of the game, if they haven't been eliminated, can take one of these stickers and place it on a resource card. And then that will make that resource card more valuable. As you can see, Brazil is much more valuable at this point. And they also can place minor cities on the board, and you can see all the minor cities are on the board as it begins. There's more stickers and more things. There are event cards. There are more special abilities that can go on the heroes, and it's possible, I can't tell you much more than that, but I can tell you basically how the game works. Each person starts with one of these. That's a victory point. You also have a victory point for each capital that you control. So you start with 2, really. First person to get 4 victory points is the winner. After you win your first game, you no longer get a victory point to start out with. You get a missile. And when you use it, a missile's not worth a victory point, but you can use a missile anytime you want to change any die roll you want to a 6. Another great thing about winning is that you get to sign the board. Okay, so here on the board, you can see these are the people who have won. And you can see that there are 2 Thomas J. Vassell signatures there at this point in time. And whoever signs it the most after 15 games gets to name the world. So this is very interesting. There's a lot of changes in the game and a lot of permanent features that will be carried over from game to game through stickers and cards. You know, there will be cards that players will get which will have a sticker on it you can put on the board. Once you put the sticker on the board, then the card is ripped up and you no longer need that card. When you add special abilities, different cards will talk to you about how the war has been progressing and changes that will come to the war. I think that's the most I can tell you at this point without spoiling the game, but that's basically what it is. It's a regular game of Risk that will change over the course of these 15 games. After 15 games, your world will pretty much be set, but at the same time, you will still be able to play with a unique world, and hopefully a cool world like this one where South America is actually called Dice Tower. All right. There is a lot going on in this game.
A lot.
If I'm assuming that most people who are watching this have played Risk before. If you haven't, it does feel different than Risk. But at the same time, its core mechanic, it is Risk.
Doesn't feel different than Risk.
Well, I think it feels a lot different than regular Risk. There's a lot going on. With Risk, I felt like when you play Risk, your whole goal is to get that one turn where you get 70 armies and go bom, 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 bom across the world. And that's not in this game.
Okay.
But now, let's talk about things I don't like about the game.
Please.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, let's talk about things that I don't like about the game.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, well, before we get to that, because I know we're going to disagree on some things, let's talk about the whole writing on the board, surprise factor
The good
thing.
stuff.
Well,
The possibly good stuff.
some people are going to hate that, I
Yes,
think, because
yeah.
you really do permanently write on the board.
Yes,
And
you do.
stickers and such, and rip up cards. I'm still not sure that I like ripping up a card, especially if it's a territory that's you've worked really hard on and built
Right.
up. That hasn't yet happened in one of our games, but I could see that kind of the person whose territory was ripped up, I could see them being really annoyed at the person
Yeah.
who ripped it up.
Yeah, and really, I've been annoyed at people doing things to certain parts of the board that just really didn't make sense. I've been annoyed at the names that some people have given the countries.
Well, Vassal States of America is
Yeah.
a perfectly fine name.
No, it's not actually, but that's fine. Whatever. One of my things that if I ever pick this game up, one of the things that I'm going to make sure that I do is that I'm going to make sure that the people who write on my board have good handwriting. That bugs me behind all else. When somebody with nasty handwriting writes all over my board and it's like, I'm like, no. So, but that's maybe just me.
To me, I really, and again, this is where I'm trying not to get spoilery, but opening up those packets, each one really does change the game. I mean, really, it's not like it changes, it's a whole new game, but it adds like something new. One of the packets, for example, added a whole new phase as to how you set the game up.
Yeah.
And that was, I liked it. It's a really cool thing, but you didn't see that till it happened.
Right.
And
No spoilers.
yeah, I know it's really hard to talk about, but there are more pieces than what I've showed you. There are more cards than what I've showed you. I can say that.
Wow, that's close. That's towing the line there.
But to me, that is just neat. To me, it was neat to see that stuff happen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more stuff happen. And I really like the fact that when we're done with this, it's my customized game.
Yeah.
And I think that, let's say we have 2 packets we haven't opened yet. I think that even if we didn't open those packets and we were done with what we had now, it would be way better than regular Risk, and it would be a decent game.
Right.
It would be kind of funky because there's certain areas on the board that are more powerful, but everyone goes in knowing that.
Right. One of the things that I liked about it is the different factions. In regular Risk, you don't have that. You don't have, everybody's kind of the same. They're all vanilla armies. Well, in Risk Legacy, you're not. You actually have your own special abilities, each army does, and there's the opportunity, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there's opportunity to actually add to your powers later on. So that's a really cool thing about it too, to where it's not only that it's each army has its own ability, they're even going to be further customized later on. So your copy of Risk Legacy is going to be possibly completely different than somebody else's copy of Risk Legacy. So that's one of the real cool things I like about it.
The components are also fantastic.
Yeah.
Each army has their own. One has mechs. One has guys riding bears. I mean, they're neat, and
That's my favorite faction.
Yeah, and you'll find yourself picking a faction based on how cool they are, but also sometimes the special abilities. The special abilities aren't game powerful broken, but they do make a difference.
Yeah, they do.
So we agree on that. The combat, if you don't like the original Risk combat, well, it's the same thing here.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
In fact, so far nothing has really modified it much, except the missiles. That's not a spoiler. That's in the game. The missiles, There's not much more other than that.
Right.
Now, what I like, and this is
No,
what,
let's wait. Let's not go there yet. Let's not go there yet. Let's go to another thing that I do like about it. I do like how you can change the board with these stickers with cities, the major cities and the minor cities.
Right.
I really enjoy that because I think it gives a little bit more worth to some of those territories that just kind of are overlooked in regular Risk. You get your nation, your continent bonuses in Risk, and you get that in Risk Legacy too. But then you also get certain other bonuses that can come from these little stickers that you place on the board, and that's just another way to further customize your game. But that's one of the things that I like because it adds bonuses to all of those other things. So it makes some of those other areas that I think have received less love, like Australia and stuff like that, in regular Risk, it makes them a little bit better.
Yeah, but even the cards, if you put stickers on them to get more resources, that's exactly. A neat idea too. I like the game world that you did from one war is the next one. So I guess you could say every 50 years we're having another war,
yeah.
And we have to deal with the effects. Some of the effects are quite major,
yes,
as we found out.
Yes,
accidentally.
Yes, but okay, let's go ahead and talk about the thing that we disagree on.
One thing I really like about this game is the fact that it's short. We're talking hour games. In fact, you could have even shorter hours than that because in the game, as you saw, that if you've never played the game before, you start with a point. And your base is worth a point. So you start with 2 points. You only need 4 points to win. So you only need to conquer 2 other people's bases or get points other ways. As the game, once you've won a game, you no longer get that starting point. So you only start with 1, but you still only need to get to 4. So to me, I really enjoy it because it's fast. Conquer, 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 game's over. So you have to always be on your toes because a quick attack could end the game.
I'm not so bad about quick games. Quick, cheesy games, I don't like. And I think the point system totally cheeses this game up. Beyond repair if you use the point system. Because of the randomizing factor of the dice, it is incredibly too easy to win. Sometimes. That's my opinion. Because you can just do these little lance strikes into people's territories, and if somebody isn't playing defensively and they've spread themselves out like many of the players that we've played against, they just leave themselves wide open and game's over. And that's a completely unbalancing factor of the game. I completely despise, entirely hate the point system in this game.
But on the flip side, I really like it. And I'll tell you why. I like it because it gives you focus and goal. It's not just wipe the board with everybody. Because that's not a war anyway. Wars aren't won like that in real life. You don't conquer the world. It's never been done. Yet.
People have come close.
Yeah, but not conquering the whole world.
Well, I understand.
And so I think capturing a couple people's capitals is a winning victory condition.
But again, we're looking in the past, and this is a future game. So maybe games are won, maybe wars are fought and won that way in the future. Matter of fact, I think it actually is. But the idea here is that this is a game about global domination, and the point system is the opposite of global domination.
Well, I think we're just going to have to disagree on that point. Now, let me ask you this. Is that enough that makes you not want to play it?
With certain people, absolutely. Because you'll have somebody that doesn't know how to play the game. They don't know how to defend their countries. They don't know how to defend their continents and all that kind of stuff. And they just let somebody who does know the point system and does know that you just have to get in there and you don't have to conquer all the territories. It's unbalanced play if you have somebody that doesn't know what.
Yeah, but this is kind of a learning game because you really should. I cannot strongly emphasize. I think you should play this game with the same group of people.
Yeah.
We played with an initial group of people, and then we switched to a second group for our second game, and that second group we stayed with now, all the way through.
But even still, they're not. One or two of them are really not good at playing the game. They're just not.
But I think they're getting better. They learn from past mistakes, and that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, but I mean, we have guys. I mean, it's kind of a lackluster situation where it's a game club at school, and some of them have to leave at the drop of a hat. And so we're right in the middle of the game, and my mom's here, my dad's here, I have to leave. And so they do this thing where they just completely spread themselves out, and the next person just goes, okay, game's over. And I'm sorry, that's just not fun to me. And it's because of that point system. If that point system wasn't there, at least we would have to go in and conquer all of those territories.
Are you going to see it through all the way to the end? The 15 games?
I guess so. I guess so. But the last few times, I guess one of the reasons I really don't like this is because it's come back to bite me in the last, 3 games that we played. I have been in good positions. Yeah, whatever. Cheese Meister to the max. Anyway,
I conquered everyone's capital. That's not cheesy.
no, you didn't conquer my capital, buddy.
I conquered everyone
Not
else's.
mine, buddy. Anyway, the idea is this. Point system, bad.
Good.
Bad. Incredibly bad.
Okay. Well, let me say this now. My overall impression is this is not probably going to crack my top 50 games. But, I mean, that's not saying much either because I played thousands of games. But I think this is by far the most innovative game of the year. It's something I've never seen in any game before, this whole customizing a game. It brings about a sense of excitement. I go to the next game like, oh, I'm so excited about it. That part is 11 out of 10. The rest of it, the gameplay itself, I like it. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So for me, 2 big thumbs up. I enjoyed the game, but the sense of discovery and building my own thing is unbelievably awesome.
What happens, though, when no more packs are left to be opened?
I don't know,
That
but like I said,
excitement
if
goes
there
down.
was no more, I still would be happy with the game, and I would still give it an 8 out of 10. And I know we're not supposed to do numbers here, so I'd give it a lot of thumbs up that have been blown apart through nuclear war.
How about like, 3
Mutant
Mech
thumbs?
Warrior tanks up or something?
Okay.
Well, okay, look, this is the thing. Without the point system, awesome version of Risk. Awesome version of Risk. I'll agree with Tom about the innovation of it. No company that I know of has ever come up with this right on the board. Stick stuff on the board, rip stuff off the board. Well, I don't know that they rip stuff off the board, but that is an awesome idea. Whoever came up with that, whoa, big, huge thumb up on that. Point system, you should draw and quarter whoever came up with that idea.
Wow.
Okay, maybe not draw and quarter. That's probably a lie. But hit him, smack him in the face with a fish or something, a stinky fish. Do something to him to where he will think twice about doing something like that to a game like this again.
Okay, I think this has turned into our longest review ever, but
Yeah, probably so. But the idea is this. I like the game without the point system. I'll still like it with the point system, but I like it much more without it.
all right, and I love it.
There you go. So I'm going to give it 2 Mech Warriors up.